We're joined on the postgame show by the head coach, Bryce Drew. And, Coach, first off, congratulations. Is this exactly what you needed statement-wise and effort-wise after that tough loss up in Nevada?
Yeah, man, it's been the last 10 days, 4 games, all real emotional games. A lot of adversity obviously coming into this game. And, I thought the guys responded super well in that first half. I thought we played really good basketball. Buchanan makes that 3 at the buzzer. We're only up 2 going into the locker room. And, in a way, we played. We shot, I think, we shoot 60-some%. It'd been nice to have been up by – we were happy for 2, but, we kind of go in the locker room and regroup again and almost overcome that adversity in the first half. And, the guys, with what's happened the last 4 days and kind of that first half went, there was concern. I thought the first minute 30 we were a little flat coming out. Nana made one aggressive play, but then the last 18, 26, guys were flying over. We had some awesome turnaround plays with blocks at the rim in transition, and really thought we shared the ball. 9 turnovers. Makai, Jaden combined for 10 assists. Just really fun basketball to watch those guys do that tonight.
Yeah, but like you said, you're lead by 2 after all that work in the first half. It was your highest scoring first half since the IU Indy game, but you flipped the game on defense in the second half. What changed with the defense? I think you allowed 2 made field goals over maybe the first 12 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's a blessing. Thank the Lord they missed shots. We got rebounds. I thought FA did a really good job protecting the paint. I thought our guards were getting hit by screens the first 10 minutes of the game. They did a much better job getting around screens. Boise's a really good team. Offensively, they're really physical. They set really good screens. They have a lot of really physical players that can shoot over the top of you. And so, I thought our guys did a good job, especially our bigs in that stretch, trying to put pressure on the rim defensively. And we doubled some a little bit. Our bigs were good at that. And, just really proud of the effort. Again, we didn't have a super deep bench. Caleb Shaw's out. Brian Moore's limited on his minutes. And so, guys had to haul a lot of minutes. Again, I thought they did a really good job doing that.
Yeah, it looked like Wilhelm Breidenbach gave you really good minutes. He was a +5 in the first half. It ends at a +7, but just 11 minutes, but it seemed like they were very important.
I totally agree with you. We just talked about that. I said, Will, look at your stat line. It's not you're going to be player of the game, but you made plays of the game. His charge was a great momentum play. His, lefty and one. He made a couple free throws. After that, he just brought a presence of physicality with some of his rebounds. We had some loose balls that he got. He just did some intangible things that don't show up maybe on the stat sheet, but they show up in winning. And he seemed like he played 20 minutes for everything he did out there. I can't believe it was only 11 minutes actually.
And in this time where you're going without Caleb Shaw, what Dusty Stromer is giving you now maybe a little bit more consistently over 2 games with high minutes. Didn't make the threes last game, but still played well, and then today adds that to his game. What are you getting from Dusty?
Yeah, I thought he had a really good pace today. I thought our guards really found him well, especially in transition. Dusty did a really good job running, finding open areas, and it was fun to see him shoot the ball like we see him shoot it every day. We see him in practice, make 3 after 3, and he's had games where he's caught his rhythm, and then other he just hasn't shot as well as we know he can. Tonight, that's the guy we see in practice, and really happy for him, really proud for him. He puts a lot of time into this. He cares a lot. He wants to be a good player, and he played a great game for us on both ends. Defensively, I thought he was extremely solid. Very rarely did his guy get by or score tonight.
What does Nana Wusanani mean to this team? I mean, he plays a ton of minutes. He was a +23 in this. It just seems like when you pull him off the court, things get a little haywire at times. Yeah. He comes right back on and boom.
I agree. He's such a vital part of our team, and he handles the ball so well, for his position, especially against the press. He can almost bring it up, like a guard, and his ability to rebound, some of his defensive plays, he gets hands on balls, and some of the diving plays he makes are just, he comes out of nowhere. His heart is just so big, and he plays with so much passion. You love having a guy like that, on your team, that's going to give that much passion, that much heart.
I don't know what the right word for the offense is when you have low turnovers like that, but it just seems like there's patience there's guys making maybe the extra move, the pass, they're just shifting the defense one step more.
Yeah, and guys really moved well today. I thought without the ball, we've had some times this year that we get kind of stuck and we don't move it. Today they really moved the ball. They really moved to open areas. And again, I thought our bigs were really good. I thought F.A. took a lot of space down there. I thought he finished, and was he 6 for 6, I think?
Yeah, after 7 of 8 last game.
Yeah, I mean, he finished just extremely well down there. It was such a big target, and I think our guys found him at the right time. So, again, really proud of him. It's been a lot these last 10 days, and we finally get a day off tomorrow. I think we're all excited for that. And then obviously we'll get back at it and get ready for Tuesday's game.
Coach, one of my favorite quotes I've mentioned before from Bill Parcells, when a guy asked him, "Hey, how do you learn from losses?" He said, "Well, I'd much rather learn from wins,
Yeah.
but you can learn from losses." What did you see out of the team out of Tuesday? I was really impressed that a lot of people could have had the finger pointed at them by others, and I didn't sense any of that with the team at all.
No, we had a great team meeting, and like we talked, it's not something that you can just brush under the rug and forget about. Like we don't want to dwell on it. We also want to learn, and it starts with me learning from it and learning some things that we need to work on and be more prepared with. And so, we did that in the last couple of days. We worked on some things that we thought we were deficient, in that last game out. And, credit the guys. No one backed down, no one backed away from it. We all said, hey, we got to get better from it. Let's get better. And it starts with me as the coach. I got to put stuff into practice and put stuff into play that helps us expand on the areas we got to get better at. So it was really good. And again, it's really just proud of the guys, to bounce back against a really good team that's playing really good basketball. And our crowd was awesome. Thought the energy in the building was spectacular from the time, we stepped on the court to the end.
It's midway through the Mountain West, 7-3 with wins against teams like Utah State and San Diego State and Boise State. How do you feel in the totality of it without focusing on the ones you wish you could have got back?
Yeah, we've learned a lot in these 10 games, a lot about the league, style of play. I think our players have learned a lot, just with the physicality and what it takes on a nightly basis to be prepared and ready to go out and play in these games. It's still a long road ahead. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. I thought this was a really important big game for us, kind of at the halfway mark, and especially coming off our last game. And so it gives us a chance to kind of reset with a day off and then go and try to attack, the second half of the schedule.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the victory. Thanks for the time. We'll see you back here on Tuesday night for Air Force.
Thank you. Thanks, those fans.